Welcome, welcome everyone. Happy to have you here. Let's take off that blocker before I forget. And here it is, round 3. Got Tower of Hoeth, Beastmen versus Dark Elves, and got some skirmishers here. I got Ungor Raiders, 2 throwing axes, and of course the Iron Morselev. I love this unit. Also going to have Mass in the form of Chaos Spawn, Razor Gore Herd. Got Spearmen to support them, as well as Blackhorn's Ravagers, and then Morgor the Shadow gave to summon those, bring those summons. Bray Shaman of Beast to summon Manticores, and then a Bray Shaman of Death to Spirit Leech. And playing for it all here, don't want to bring bad builds just to be a good sport. So I definitely have my 2 spammy spells of Summons and Spirit Leech. Try to take any edge I can against Arrow, who is a player I really respect. Now, going to be continuing to throw rocks here. The second one's going to connect. Do about a third damage on the Sisters of Slaughter. Very surprising amount of damage, actually. And then I'm going to try to bait out some shots from the repeater crossbows on top of these chariots, and then pull back so I can get that Spirit Leech on top of Malekith. Malekith obviously going to be able to heal that up as the game progresses, but now we're going to bring out our screening force. And the repeater crossbows are going to start falling back a little bit behind their dread spears, who have silver shields. So it looks like both of us just going to kind of pull back our respective ways and avoid that skirmish engagement, because I don't think either of us felt like we had a competitive edge. Over here, Malekith is diving into the Blackhorn's Ravagers, a nice unit to dive into. I'm going to send the Razor Gore Herd over in here to try and, repay him the favor. Get a stagger, get some armor-piercing damage in on top of him as those piggy boys go to work. However, I do think they're going to get countercharged very quickly here by the Sisters of Slaanesh, and the Doomfire Warlocks, and that is never fun. Over here, front lines are starting to get engaged. Ungor Spearmen diving in here. I'm going to actually run away my Chaos Spawn from the Helibroni and send Morgor into combat against them. And then it looks like the Ungor is actually just going to start targeting the repeater crossbows at this point of the game. Over here, I have sent out my Beastmen chariots, and it looks like I've kind of forgotten about them as they are suffering some needless combat, and actually going to start throwing axes into the back of these dread spears to try to expedite their passing. And in turn, I'm getting shot down here by the repeater crossbows, but sending some Ungor Spearmen out there to help deal with it. Meanwhile, over here, the Bloodrack Shrine is starting to come in, and that could really turn the frontline battle here if Terror goes down. Going to see a Spirit Leech going down here, healing up Malekith, and he did get some nice units caught in it. And at this point, it looks like he's going to be going after my Bray Shaman of Beast, who just summoned a Manticore. And this is bad news bears. That Bray Shaman just took 2 huge hits and is now getting decimated by the repeater crossbow fire. I'm not even sure if he survives the rest of the battle. Over here, a Spirit Leech going down on top of Malekith. Another Spirit Leech and another Soul Stealer going down on top of that blob. Over here, we're going to be trying our best to kill off the Bloodrack Shrine. Going to cause terror on top of the throwing axes, but sending in the Razor Gore Herd, Chaos Spawn, and a Manticore, trying to, triple team it, take it out as quickly as possible. And oh, look at this! The caster is running away, is still alive. And that could be a big deal as the late game comes, because I've only summoned 1 Manticore, and if this guy survives and can summon another Manticore, that's value. Over here, what the hell was that? It's like it started to do a breath, but then it stopped, so I'm not sure if that counted as a breath or not, but either way, that's unfortunate, as I'm sure he would have had a nice amount of damage going down there. And as you can see, this is starting to go pear-shaped. Everything is terror routing, obviously, except my Chaos Spawn, since they're unbreakable. And the Feral Manticore is actually still okay for right now, too. But the Bloodrack Shrine is on a warpath, trying to kill off my Razor Gore Herd. In the back lines, we see the Ungor Raider starting to get attacked by Light Cav. Ungor Spearmen coming out to try to counter that. And yeah, at this stage of the battle, you're going to see, looks like, trying to consolidate the leadership. Over here, my opponent is, doing wonderful work deleting these very important units, which are my Chaos Spawn. Without my unbreakable units, it's a very precarious situation indeed. And he's also singling out the weak Beastmen units and taking care of them. And for now, yeah, he's deleted one of them. The other Chaos Spawn looks like it's about to run out of time. It was a summon. And we did get that second Feral Manticore in the air. However, looks like maybe a premature cast. But then again, where is my caster? Is he even alive anymore? Yeah, I don't even know. He might have just died. But yeah, so from here... Oh, no. Yeah, they're both alive. I lied. So Feral Manticore looks like it's going for the Sisters of Slaughter and the Slaaneshi Harvesters. I'm not really sure about the targeting there. Probably should have saved that for later in the game when it would have been a bit more useful. And over here, I think I'm going to get both of these guys Spirit Leeched. No, fortunately just one Centaur getting that Spirit Leech. Malekith's still going to be regenerating HP nonetheless. And yeah, at this point, I'm content to just kind of start leaning back on my Cygor, letting it do some damage with its big old rocks, and try to consolidate my forces as much as possible. At this point, trying to get the Ungor Raiders into more action. They've spent about half their ammunition, but I'm not sure how much value they've gotten so far. And going to continue throwing those boulders at the repeater crossbows, because honestly at this point, looks like the Dark Elf infantry has been dealt with for the most part. And now we're just trying to take care of these key units of Bloodrak Shrine. Going to be the focus of the throwing axes for a while. Repeater crossbows, like I said earlier, going to be continuing to get focused by the Cygor. And we'll see what these Beret Shamans do. But so far, yeah, there goes the terror on top of the Ungor Raiders, and that's why this is such a precarious battle, because Malekith is still alive, Bloodrak Shrine is still alive, and all three of the repeater crossbows are still alive. And the Beastmen, it can turn on a dime. You know, it can go from a really good situation as I'm ahead in the balance of power to a really bad situation very quickly. Fortunately, I have some Chaos Spawn here, which will be able to send him on his way. But yeah, both of us are pretty much in tatters at this point. But my main concern is he has a flying Terror Lord and a Terror Chariot that can continue shooting me from afar. So it looks like we're getting our remaining spawn on the field. I'm going to send Morgor and the Shamans over here to just destroy the Spearmen once and for all. And Cygor's going to continue throwing boulders. And it started to have an effect over time, I would say. Oh no, pull back. But yeah, so now he's sending in the Slaaneshi's Harvesters. Nice pick up there. They're going to start taking a lot of damage, and it looks like both of them may be dealt with at this point. However, it may have come at the sacrifice of the Slaaneshi's Harvesters. But honestly, a fair trade at this point in the battle to remove my throwing axes. They're really my main hope to deal with these single-entity armored units. Cygor looks like he's probably down to 2 ammunition, I would say. 3 ammunition. The repeater crossbows are also starting to get low on their ammunition as well. Taking care of the Blackhorn's Ravagers, very nicely played. I mean, he definitely can dodge the rock, but at this point, you know, there's a lot going on, and it's harder and harder to keep track of which way the Eye of Morslab is focusing. Over here, Morgor the Shadowgave coming in, and the Eye of Morslab coming over, and I'm just trying to consolidate everything I have, because one bad route and this could all just go pear-shaped still. But with the Eye of Morslab and Morgor still alive, I'm feeling okay. As long as these guys stay together, nothing in the Dark Elf army can really try to zoom in and just rush this Beastman army. Oh, but a huge Soul Stealer going down. Going to be able to get Morgor out, but all these other units going to be stuck in it. And once again, Malekith just doing what he does best, which is be a late-game hero. Over here, the Bloodrak Shrine, desperately trying to deal with it. It's a unit I really don't want to have to deal with anymore. But every time I try to single out a unit, Arrow's nicely pulling up with Malekith here and removing more isolated Beastman units. So at this point, I decided to cut my losses, I think. And yeah, I'm just going to go straight after on a beeline after this Bloodrak Shrine. I can't catch these units. They're chasing off routing units, so I can't prevent them from doing that. But I can Spirit Leech Malekith more, and I can start chasing the Bloodrak Shrine because my casters on their chariots are going to be a little bit faster. Yeah, 70 compared to 50. So I just really want to get over here, take out the remaining HP, so I don't need to worry about it anymore. Throw one last rock. And it actually looks like it connected a little bit. But yeah, at this point, we're just going to start going in opposite directions of each other. He's chasing off my routing unit. I'm chasing off his routing unit. And then he's going to come over here and start chasing me. And I start to worry that by the time I'm able to catch these guys, they're going to be so far ahead that Malekith will be able to isolate the casters away from the rest of my army, which is really a worst case scenario. So I do think at a point here I'm going to net him in place with the Eye of Morsleab to buy some more time. The casters were able to kill off the Death Shrine over there in the forest, and now we've regrouped over here, and the battle begins. Malekith going to dive in, pull out, and continue to satisfy the attacking role with his Dark Riders. Now at this point it's really just Malekith versus this army. While he has these guys to support, he's going to successfully kill off my caster by the looks of it. Terror going down here, Morgor and the Eye of Morsleb coming over to try to get on top of him. There goes my caster, and at this point we just have to hope our leadership can hold. Both units are full health though, at least, but a nice breath from Malekith coming in, and at this point he's going to stay in combat. A gentleman, a chivalrous player, going to stay in combat, recognizing that he only has a single entity left, and that's going to be a GG to Aerocrastic, and we're going to win it in the ace match. First time I've ever beaten Aerocrastic, but yeah, well played to him. Very fun series, and it really stretched the limits of my skill. I have to say, he's a great player. It was an honor to face him, and I'm not going to lie, a pleasure to finally beat him for once. So, well played to Aero, and let's go on to the next round, which is going to be up against Rubber Duck of Total War. Or sorry, Rubber Duck of War. Very nice, gentlemen. And we also had some very fun, interesting games.